Okay, well, I've been pretty fortunate the last few weeks during the stay-at-home quarantine deal. Haven't been able to fish on the Bass Pro Tour, Major League Fishing stuff. It's kind of on pause, but it's kind of been nice fishing my little local lakes with Jaden, JC. I'm trying to get my daughter Elise out there, but that's what I want to talk with you guys about. Since I've been going out fishing, during the week, and even I stay away from the lakes on the weekends. Only two of our lakes are open, and it's a great time. I mean, lots of families out there fishing, people I haven't seen in years. And what I'm noticing is when I'm trolling around fishing, and I notice all these little kids with their moms and dads out there fishing, and I know the frustration because I have three kids of my own, and so teaching them how to fish and the right setups and this, and there's a lot of things that go into it, and I just want to give a few little quick tips. Hopefully, maybe it'll help some people know what to kind of go out and buy or not buy, or just some little tips. So anyway, what we have here is there's four different types of reels. Uh, right here is a spin underspin underspin reel. Okay, so it's got the trigger right here and a little, you just pull that down, you cast, and the bait goes flying. Then we got the Spincast. So it's kind of like a conventional bait caster, kind of similar. This here's a Daiwa SV TW, and this is just a spin cast. So yeah, you push the button. This here's another little Daiwa. This is a Daiwa underspin, and here's a spinning reel. So there's four types of reels. These two right here are the best. I've started with teaching my kids with both of these. It gets them used to pushing the button, or with a spinning reel, being able to click that, cast it out. The rods, usually people have rods laying around their garage. It really doesn't matter. Either one of these will work with a spinning reel or a spinning rod or a bait casting rod. Tackle Warehouse has a bunch, from Daiwa, Ritual Angling, that are in that inexpensive price range. These reels right here are super inexpensive, so you get a lot of value, a lot of quality for your money, but you're not spending a whole paycheck buying a rod and a reel for your kid learning how to fish and just wants to get out there and experience that. So there's our four types of reels. Now let's go over some setups. So the funnest thing for a kid is to catch his first fish. So right here, this is actually my crappie box, but I carry this with me all the times when I'm teaching my kids how to fish. This is just Eagle Claw makes them. It's just like a little snell hook for like live bait, like a little mealworm, red worm type deal. It's all set up for you. You tie your knot on there, you put on a little split shot and a bobber. Okay, and you're going to catch panfish, bass, crappie, catfish. I mean, whatever's around right there, you more than likely you're going to catch them. But once again, I have kids, and the last thing they want to do is throw the bait out there and just watch the bobber. It's boring to them, and they get over it, and they're winding it in, they're throwing it in the bushes behind them. It's a whole deal. So what I suggest for that is there's two different styles of baits that I kind of always go to. They don't get hung up as much as some, like with your crankbaits have treble hooks. This here is just a little 1/4 ounce spinner bait, and it catches bass. I mean, springtime, shoot, actually all throughout the year it'll catch bass. And then here's a bladed jig. This here's a little Eco Pro spinnerbait. This is a Jackal bladed jig. They don't sell these in the States, but Tackle Warehouse has a bunch that are super inexpensive. I mean, you don't need a heavyweight. 1/4 ounce is fine, 3/8. Something small so they can throw it and fish it. And with a bladed jig, you might get a few snags, but it is what it is. And that's a bait they could chunk out and wind in, chunk out, wind in. And perfect for bank fishing. When I was younger, growing up, fishing ponds, riding my bike around, that's all I carried was this and a small topwater bait. But, oh yeah, I forgot to talk to you about this. This here is a little combo setup that you can get at Tackle right now. It's called a Mity. It's a little 2-foot rod. It comes with a reel. And actually, I know some adults that fish with these. They put them in their golf bags when they're out the golf course. You know, I got a friend of mine who catches saltwater fish in the bays around the harbors, you know, sneaking down there and making little short casts, and they catch fish. I think I actually got some footage of us catching spotted bay bass, and I mean, so it's a cool little setup, really inexpensive. One thing I do recommend though, when you get this, is it comes with line, but I recommend, because the line wants to come off there really bad, I recommend like putting some either 8 or 10 pound line on there. This here is Sunline FC. Uh, really great for casting. You know, it doesn't have a lot of coil, not a lot of memory, and you don't need more than, I'd say, 10 at the max for what we're talking about. Okay, and then the other kind of setup. So you got two setups where the bladed jig and the spinnerbait, where they're going to be casting out, winding in, casting out, winding in, and they will catch fish. And then the other setup, very simple. You just get a hook, like right here is a eagle claw, laser sharp, just a 1/0 straight shank hook, okay? And then you get like a soft stick worm, and there's many different thousands of stick worms, soft stick worms. I like the jackal stuff, so I got a couple sizes I recommend, you know, for a small kid, small child, starting out with like a 4.8, you know, 4 to 5 inch bait, something like this. This here is a 4.8. Very simple. All you do is you take your hook, put it about right in the middle, and you cast it out in the water. I mean, that's all there is to it. You cast it out. Let's see, I'm wanting to do my spinning. Cast it out, and you let it go, and you just let them sink there. You know, you watch the line, and you reel it in, and you catch them. So, I mean, there's all kinds of variations. You can add a little nail weight in the nose. But these little techniques right here are going to help you catch a lot more fish, and it's going to ease a lot of the tension, because I know from experience it's frustrating being out there and your kids are wanting to throw, you know, what they see the guys on TV fishing, you know, crankbaits and big topwater baits, and as long as they're, you know, the younger kids are kind of entertained and they have something to do and they have something that resembles what the top guys are doing, they're going to be much more happier. You know, now once you get like Jaden, for example, he grew up kind of fishing these kind of setups, and now that he's big junior hire, this here is a Daiwa TW SV TW. This reel, for like, I would recommend. I mean, I use it all the time for like skipping frogs. I mean, this is a really premium reel, but it has this air braking system where it prevents the backlashing. So the big problem with especially people or young kids learning how to throw a bait caster is you throw it out there and the line comes all up, get a big bird's nest. This reel actually has the air braking technology that slows it down, and you're going to prevent a lot of those backlashes. So, you know, if you're graduated past this, you get to that age where you want to start getting into, you know, throwing a bait caster with a, you know, a 7.5 foot rod for spinnerbait, topwater, frog, whatever it may be. This here is my all-purpose ritual angling rod, 7'5". I throw pretty much everything that's in my boat I could throw on this rod. But you know, it's just a great reel to learn how to fish a bait caster properly, because the technology is going to help you prevent all the frustrating parts of it. So, I mean, the last thing I can tell you is I had a friend of mine ask me the other day, you know, hey man, well, what knot do you tie? You know, because some people don't know, and I really admire these parents getting out. A lot of them may or may not know, you know, never been bass fishing or fishing of any kind. So just a real simple knot, I'll show you real quick. It's just a Palomar knot. I believe you can Google it. You can look on the internet, or I think maybe even Tackle Warehouse has a little deal on it, little product video thing. But you just fold your line over just like that. It's called a Palomar. You go through the eye of the hook just like that. So, and then you just do an overhand knot. You bring that loop around the whole bait. You cinch it down just like that, and you clip the tag end off. I mean, this is the knot I tie probably, I'd say 75% of the time when I'm fishing. So it's a really simple knot, really easy knot to teach kids how to fish, and it's super strong. You're not going to break off all your baits and stuff like that, unless you may hang maybe a big fish or snag a big tree, something like that. But I hope this helps. If you have any questions, you can direct message us, and I'll provide more information if need be. Tackle Warehouse carries actually the Spincast, the underspin reels, spinning reels, and there's all different varieties of price range. So you don't have to go out and spend 150 to $300 or $400 to take your kids fishing. There's some really economical choices out there. So once again, if you have any questions, go ahead and direct message me, and good luck, and hope to see you out at the lake.